A good crowd gathering in Royals Stadium in Kansas City, where the White Sox meet the Royals in the final game of a 4-game series. And good evening, everyone. This is Jim Durham with Tom Paciorek. And not only are the White Sox wrapping up a 4-game series, they're wrapping up a 12-game road trip. And it'll be home sweet home tomorrow when they come home against the Texas Rangers for 2. But first things first, got a couple of young right-handers closing out this series, Tom.
Yeah, Kevin Appier and Adam Peterson are the two pitchers in this ball game tonight, Jim. And Adam Peterson has had a lot of success lately because he has developed the off-speed pitch with that split finger. He's throwing it almost like a changeup or a slow curveball, which will offset the pretty much same speeds of his fastball and slider. Now, Kevin Appier for the Royals is an outstanding young arm. He's been a big surprise for him. He's been the guy they've counted on because of all the injuries they've had in their starting staff. But he's a good one. He's got a good live fastball and a good hard slider to go with that.
Kevin Appier has won 6 of 10 decisions this year. And in this specific series, the team that scores 5 runs is going to win. Because so far in all 3 games, the winning team has scored 5.
Well, that's a good point you brought up there, Jim. I haven't really considered that a whole lot. But the pitching has been very good on both sides. Of course, Greg Hibbert had an off night last night, but the Sox relievers picked him up and really gave him a chance to come back, but the offense just didn't have it.
That's been a real plus for the White Sox lately. The relief pitching, 15 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball. We'll return to Royal Stadium. We'll look at the White Sox lineup, and we'll set Kansas City defensively in a moment. White Sox baseball on Channel 9. The White Sox are brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's Miller Lite, less filling really tastes great. By the good guys at Bowling Auto Sales in Hammond, Indiana, where it's Advantage Dodge. The Chicago Tribune. Get in the game, pick up a trib. Coca-Cola Classic. Can't beat the real thing. True Value Hardware. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value Hardware stores. By Hyundai and your Chicagoland Hyundai dealers. Test drive a new XL or Sonata today. By Phillips 66 Super Clean Premium Unleaded Gasoline. Pump up to performance power from Phillips 66. And by Southwest Airlines, offering everyday low fares and convenient flights to both Detroit Metro and Detroit City Airport. Evening here in Kansas City. No rain in the forecast. We should get this one in, no problem. And the White Sox in the final game of this series will be lined up this way. Jeff Torborg has Phil Bradley in the leadoff spot in right field. Lance Johnson in center. Yvonne Calderon is in left. Pasqua the DH. Carlton Fisk behind the plate. Frank Thomas at first. Robin Ventura at third. Scott Fletcher at second. And Ozzie Guillen batting ninth at short.
Defensively for the Royals, it's Wilson, McRae, and Tartabull in the outfield. Seitzer, Stillwell, Pacoda, and Perry around the horn. The battery tonight of Kevin Appier and Mike McFarland. Big right-hander, Kevin Appier. There you see him. Throws hard. He's got a good hard breaking ball. 6-4 with a 3.11 earned run average in 21 ball games. Has 2 complete games to his credit.
Swing and a miss by Phil Bradley at a fastball. Strike 1.
You know, he's worked a lot of innings. 107, 105 hits given up, 44 runs, walking 35. That's pretty good. 76 strikeouts, which tells you that he is a power pitcher of sorts.
Strike 1 pitch to Bradley. Grounded foul.
You know, Appier was one of those guys that pretty much a fill-in. I think he had a chance of making the team out of spring training, but only an outside chance, Jim, when they invested all that money in the free agents.
Only an outside chance for that reason, and also because of his performance last year. He was 1-4 with a 9.14 earned run average.
That's not good.
No. So you're right. The numbers game was going to cost him, plus his performance of a year ago. But he's made the most of his opportunities.
You're not kidding. He's got 2 complete games to his credit, 2 shutouts. 3.11 earned run average in this day and age is outstanding.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Bradley. Ground ball up the middle, and it does get through. Phil Bradley aboard.
See, we're going to have to start wishing these balls through there as soon as contact is made. Some cute little, I tell you,
artificial surface. If you hit the ball fairly sharply into a hole, it's going to go through.
You're right, because he didn't hit that ball hard at all. I think at Comiskey Park, that's pretty much of a routine grounder. Looking at the umpires, Jim McKeon, the crew chief, is at home plate. Larry Young at first. Chuck Merriweather at second. And at third base, Terry Kraft.
Lance Johnson up there. Phil Bradley, the runner at first. Strike call to Johnson. Bradley has swiped 12 bases in 17 attempts. He is 2 out of 3 with the White Sox. And we should mention, of course, I know we have during this series, but Phil Bradley is a former local star with the University of Missouri. He was a all Big 8 quarterback there back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, and he still holds a lot of the records in the Big 8 conference from rushing and total yardage from the quarterback position. He's an athlete.
Gerald Perry tracking down that throw that got away from Apier. And Bradley gets a big hand when he comes to the plate. The fans here remember his collegiate days. Strike one, the count to Johnson. Kevin Apier, 22 years old, 6'2", 190. The strike one pitch. Ground ball towards second. Pagoda gets the out at second, and that's all. He laid back on it. He felt if he charged the ball and went for the tag of Bradley, he'd miss him, so he laid back and gets the force out at second.
Yeah, that's a difficult play for Pagoda. He really hasn't played in one position for a long time, and on this artificial surface, you got to make a decision here quickly. Come in and get it on the short hop, which is probably advisable on this one. He backed up and he made sure of one, and he barely got Phil Bradley at second base. If he charges that, then he's got that little side flip to throw to second. They would have had a chance for two, but it's a gamble.
So Calderon steps in. Lance Johnson takes off. Ivan fouls it back.
You know, a lot of fans out there are probably wondering, why isn't Jeff Torborg running more? You know, it seems in this last 12 ball games the team isn't stealing as many bases as it has in the earlier part of the year, but it seems like every time the runner is put in motion, like Lance is right there, the guy falls the ball off, and then you have to wait a couple more pitches to put anything back on, and then by that time the guy either has gotten a hit or he gotten himself out. So it makes it a little bit tougher on Jeff Torborg there.
Yeah, in that particular instance, Johnson had a good lead and got a great jump.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the one thing that the Sox hitters have not done in this series, particularly against the Royals, is be very patient. They have made out on the first pitch so many times. I haven't kept track of it, but have made the job of the Kansas City pitchers that much easier.
Up high, ball one, strike one to Calderon. You saw his numbers there in this series. Ivan back in there waiting on a 1-1 delivery from Apier. Lance Johnson retreats. Apier stepping away from the rubber. Monday night it was 5-4 Kansas City. Tuesday night it was 5-3 White Sox. Last night 5-1 Royals. Apier in high and tight to Calderon. 2 balls and a strike.
You know, one thing about swinging at that first pitch, if you get a hit on it, that's fine, especially early in the ball game. If you get a hit on it, but if you don't, you make yourself or get yourself out with a bad swing, all of a sudden later on in the game, you haven't seen any of the repertoire that pitcher has. There's a throw over to first, lands back safely, but if you haven't seen what the pitcher has, it makes his job that much easier late in the ball game, say like in a game-winning type situation. So early in the game, it's absolutely, you know, it's advisable to take a couple pitches.
Well, let's see what they do with a 2-1 count. Johnson takes off and Calderon fouls it back. Same as on the first pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hit and run definitely on there. 2-1 is the favorite count that managers have to putting on a hit and run, because they feel like that pitcher has got to throw a strike. Chances of them pitching out are very slim because they don't want to go to ball 3. They see 19 for 30 for Lance. Turn him loose. Let him go again. This guy's not very quick home.
He stays. Calderon lifts the fly ball to center, and McRae is there. 2 down.
Batting fourth, number 44, the designated hitter.
Here's Danny Pasqua hitting cleanup as the designated hitter tonight. The White Sox, who had the leadoff single from Phil Bradley, and now a man at first and 2 outs. Lance Johnson has been on the move on a couple of pitches previously, on the 2 pitches to Ivan Calderon. Let's see if the White Sox try to get him down in scoring position for Pasqua. They thought so. It's a pitch out, and he's staying there. I guess the thinking here would be, Tom, that you might as well stay put and see if Pasqua can hit one out.
Yeah, it's true. Or take advantage of that hole between first and second, with the first baseman holding Lance on base. I'd like to see him aggressive, though, and take off here. Chances of hitting home runs in this ballpark are not very good.
Yeah.
You got to hit it a ton to get out of here in any part of the park.
There he goes. And he's in there. So the White Sox do get Lance Johnson into scoring position with his 20th stolen base.
There's a look at Lance. He's got a good lead. He takes off. He's off to the races. A good pitch to throw on for McFarland. The fastball up, but he throws it to the third base side of second base, and that's the reason Lance is in there safely. Stolen base number 20.
And now Pasqua, with a 2-0 count, has a shot at the run batted in. In there. 2 balls and a strike.
A little slider right there. Apier has featured just a fastball and slider so far. Throws over the top, so he can turn that slider into a curveball in a hurry. Coming straight down with the pitch will change up.
Now the 2-1. Inside, 3-1. Carlton Fisk is on deck. There's Fisk, who hit number 327 last night as a catcher to tie Johnny Bench for the all-time mark, and number 186 to tie Harold Baines for the all-time White Sox total in home runs for a career. Time called. Boy, this has been a record-breaking season for the White Sox, not only with those numbers we've talked about with Carlton Fisk, but Bobby Thigpen out of the bullpen. Pasqua lifts a fly ball into center, and McRae, or it's out to left center, and the shortstop has it. Didn't carry it all. Stillwell puts it away, and that's it for the White Sox. No runs, they hit one left after a half inning, no score. First is here, and we're ready to take a look at the Kansas City batting order this evening. Kevin Seitzer in the leadoff spot. Bill Pacoda is playing second base, batting second. George Brett is the DH, hitting third. Danny Tarnable in right, batting cleanup. Gerald Perry at first base. Willie Wilson is in left. Mike McFarland behind the plate. The shortstop is Kurt Stillwell, and Brian McRae is in center.
Defensively for the White Sox, Calderon, Johnson, and Bradley in the outfield. Ventura, Guillen, Fletcher, and Thomas around the horn. Battery tonight of Adam Peterson and Carlton Fisk. Adam Peterson, there you see him, the big right-hander, going after victory number 3 tonight. Currently, Adam is 2-3 with a 3.52 earned run average in 11 ball games. Has 2 complete games to his credit and has pitched very well lately, giving up 57 hits in 61 1/3 innings, 27 runs. He has walked 20 while striking out 22. American League is hitting .247 against Adam Peterson so far. Adam won his last start. That was against the Brew Crew in Milwaukee on this current road trip. Working 7 strong innings, giving up 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. Didn't walk anybody, and that's a crucial number for Adam.
He misses here to Seitzer with that first pitch. Kevin Seitzer with 3 two-base hits last night. Ran his season total in that department to 23. And that pitch misses. Ball 2, no strikes. There you see those 3 two-base hits he had last night, and he has figured prominently in a lot of the offense for the Royals in this series.
He's a fine hitter, no doubt about it. Well, he took a fastball, looked like it might have been high, but he calls it a strike. Jim McKeon It's one thing Adam's going to have to do is find out what strike zone is going to be in use tonight, whether it's going to be the high one or the lower one. Most of the time they've been very low strike zones.
Here's the 2-1 pitch.
Ooh,
barely missed. Ball 3, strike 1.
And that to me is where you got to pitch this guy, Jim. He's way off the plate. When a guy is way off the plate like Seitzer is, most of the time they want the ball away. But in his case, he is a much better inside-out swinger. He hits the ball to right field better that way.
He drives the ball hard to center, but Lance Johnson is there.
Perfect defense. Yeah, he's one of those guys that's really kind of the exception to the rule. He's got a great right field stroke, and when he inside outs the ball, by that I mean his hands come before the barrel of the bat, he's a better hitter inside than outside. So you got to keep the ball down and away from him if you can.
1 out for the Royals, and here's the second baseman, Bill Pacoda. Hitting .277. Ball 1. And the Royals, who for season after season have written down Frank White at that second base spot. And now this year with White having a subpar season, Terry Shumford, who was up earlier, now he's injured. There's a strike.
Well, Frank was injured at the beginning of the year too,
right.
And he's missed so much playing time because of that injury. And right now he's back to playing, but it's tough for him to go out there in, say, 4 or 5 consecutive days. So they're giving him a rest a bit.
Outside. Ball 2, strike 1. Well, Jim McKeon's been constant. That pitch has been called a ball so far, and Peterson has been there on a number of occasions. There's a smash into the left field corner, and Pacoda has a double, and he's going to try for 3, and he will make it. He had no hesitation, Tom, around second.
No, he saw what happened in that corner. Very difficult to play these corners because of that. It's very circular out there. When it hits off the 330 over there, it's liable to go right on down into left center field. He strokes his 2-1 fastball. No chance for Ventura. And one thing, Calderon a little bit unsure of himself right there. Didn't really get there in a hurry as quick as we'd like to see him get there. And that's the reason Pacoda is able to get over there. See, watch it, Calderon doesn't really get to the ball in a hurry, but of course he is playing the ball and that wall. It's, how do you describe that? It's
right
like
at the
circular,
curve.
yeah, right at that big curve there. And it's just very difficult to get in front of that ball and make the play any sooner than he did. Pacoda played it smart, got himself a triple.
And now George Brett up there with the infield in. 1 down. Brett hits it hard. Grabbed by Fletcher, and he'll make the play to first as the run scores. Run batted in, number 51 for George Brett.
George went after a pitch out of the strike zone, hit it hard. That was a good play by Scooter. And a great job of base running there by Pacoda. Yeah, he's been very impressive this series. Pacoda running the bases, playing defense. See the fastball down. Scotty has to go to his left, and that allows Pacoda to score. Obviously, Kansas City had the contact play on. By that I mean as soon as the ball is hit, Pacoda is taking off. Line drive, he's going to be doubled off.
There's a strike at the knees to Tartabull.
Good job by Pacoda. I'll tell you one thing, he wants to stay in the big leagues. He's been doing that Omaha shuffle too much, I guess he figures.
Inside to Tartabull, 1-1.
And he is playing his 3rd different position in this series. He's played third base, shortstop, and second base, and done a nice job both offensively and defensively.
Outside and high, it's 2-1 to Danny Tartabull. So Adam Peterson nicked for a run here in the first inning. Up high, ball 3, strike 1.
Adam Peterson cannot pitch behind in the count. He doesn't have that overpowering stuff. He's got to throw strike 1. That's his most important pitch. Hasn't used the split finger pitch yet. He's been basically fastball slider so far. Good pitch.
Count is full to Tarnable with 2 outs and nobody on.
George Brett has 51 RBIs now. It's subpar for him, but he has been probably the hottest hitter in the American League in the last month or so.
He was the American League Player of the Month in July.
Right. Uh-oh.
There's a long drive to center field. Lance Johnson, though, has plenty of room and hauls it in. Tarnable and the Royals are retired in the first, but they come up with a run on 1 hit. And after 1, lead it 1-0. It's 14 and under attending the White Sox Athletics game on Wednesday, August 22nd at 7:05. We'll receive a Carlton Fisk growth chart, compliments of Kellogg's. It features a life-size picture of the future Hall of Fame catcher wearing the new 1991 White Sox home uniform. For tickets, call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212. And what a coincidence. Carlton Fisk is going to lead off the second for the White Sox.
And you didn't even plan that. Well, let's see if he can't tie it up. Do what he did his last at bat last night against Tom Gordon. He got one of only 4 hits given up by the 5'9" right-hander who looked about 7'2" out there on the mound last night.
Flash Gordon, right?
He was throwing lasers.
Well, every homer that Fisk hits from now on will be of historic proportion. Fastball in there, strike 1. Well, you see what Fisk accomplished with that 1 homer. He tied the all-time mark for a catcher and the all-time White Sox mark at 186. 43rd on the all-time home run list. And after 40, he's got 44.
Get through.
It does.
Yes.
Fisk with a leadoff single here in the second.
So you talk to these balls once in a while, they'll go through. He didn't hit that ball hard either, but just like Phil Bradley, he was in the right spot and he took advantage of the artificial surface. So there, take that ball. Here's Pugsley. Watch the swing. He looked like he jammed himself a bit, but he's so strong when he takes a full swing, he's able to fight it off, get himself a base hit.
Well, you know who's due to hit his first big league homer about now.
Who?
Frank Thomas. Breaking ball outside, ball 1.
He's done a nice job since being called up. He was 1 for 3 last night. No.
Yep. He swung.
Yep.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Frank's been a little anxious in a few at-bats, which kind of surprised me. There you see that 6-game hitting streak. But he has swung at a lot of bad pitches, particularly in this series. If he is a little bit more patient, he'll run that count to 2-0 and 3-1 and then get some good pitches to hit.
He drives that one into right field for a base hit, and Fisk stops at second. So the White Sox have runners at first and second and nobody out.
You know, Frank got jammed on that pitch, but he is so strong he made it look like a line drive. 7-game hitting streak now for the rookie. Watch this pitch. See the good sinking fastball. It's right in on his hands. That's not even a good looking swing, but he is so strong that the ball is able to get through there easily. Carlton Fisk had to stop at second base because the ball was to Tartable in a hurry. But that just shows you the kind of strength that Frank Thomas has.
Well, let's see. He's got what, 7 base hits now since he came up. Just about all of them have been to right field, haven't they?
Yeah.
His triple was.
Yeah. He's got a couple line drive hits to left field. Let's see if Robin Ventura is bunting here. Nobody out, runners at first and second. Kansas City thinks so.
And he does, and pushes right at the first baseman, and Perry almost loses the play completely. But he gets Ventura for the sacrifice. It moves the runners up to second and third. Boy, Gerald Perry looked a long time over there at third base.
Well, if he
before he
doesn't
decided to give up on it.
Yeah, if he doesn't double clutch, though, Jim, he's got him at third base because Pudge isn't running all that well these days from a speed standpoint. There, the ball is there in a hurry, and I don't know what he was thinking right there. He had the ball in his hand. He had a shot at third, no question about it. He pulled up, did get the sure out, though. But Scotty Fletcher with a good RBI situation, runners at second and third and only one out. And the Royals will be playing their infield back up the middle and in at the corners.
Fletcher takes his strike.
Right there.
Boy, that was some pitch, too, running in on the right-hand batter. This is WGN Television, Channel 9. Chicago's very own Jim Durham with Tom Paciorek in Royal Stadium. Kansas City with a 1-0 lead. White Sox threatening, though, in the second. Fisk the runner at third, Thomas the runner at second. Back-to-back singles and a sacrifice by Ventura put them there. And Fletcher hits a high pop foul out of play off to the right. 2 strikes the count.
There's one of those situations where Scotty probably hasn't faced Apier maybe more than once or twice, and he wanted to get a look-see at him at the fastball in the first pitch, and he threw it right down Broadway, which was a great pitch for him to hit, and then he chased one just out of the zone right there. You see Scotty's numbers, 255, 3 homers and 3 RBIs. He has been hot lately, though. He's got that batting average up from being down around 220 most of this season. But he's got a battle on his hands right here, Jim. Got to find a way to put this ball in the play where he can score that runner from third. Contact play will be on. Ball hit on the ground. Pudge has got to go because with 1 out, the runner from second is going to get to third automatically.
So Fletcher back in there. Kevin Apier way ahead in the count. 0-2. Fletcher fouls it off. Again, McFarland was set up inside.
There's Alexander the Great. Alex Fernandez. A lot of the sons of players and coaches on the road trip. To Alex's left is Barry Foote's son, and Dale Torborg to Alex's right. There are the sons.
And last night, of course, we
he's
saw
not much
that.
older than those guys right there.
That's
either.
right. Last night we saw that dramatic picture of Casey Fisk and Carlton Fisk after that.
That's right.
327th homer. Swing and a miss. Fletcher strikes out. That's a big out indeed for Kevin Apier.
Good breaking ball here by Apier out of the zone. Good hard. You can almost classify this as a hard curveball. Watch the movement downward. Look at that. Wow. Well, that may have been the split finger pitch, Jim.
Yep.
Sometimes these guys, when it's difficult to pick out whether or not it is a split finger because of the speed of the pitch. It wasn't real obvious there, but I'd have to go with the split finger right there.
Now it's up to Ozzie Guillen if the White Sox are to score in this second inning. Ozzie hits it sharply into the hole, but it's grabbed by Stillwell, and the throw gets him. So the Sox threaten but don't score. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. After an inning and a half, 1-0 Kansas City. Twilight in Kansas City, or is it twilight in Independence? It's twilight in Missouri. How about somebody in the twilight of... Whoa, no, that's not the twilight of a career. That is the dawning of a career. Look at this. Mercy. But now the twilight of a career. Ah, there you go. The Orlando Juice.
That is very, very funny. That guy looks identical to the previous guy.
Well, not quite. Same name.
How about that bouffant hairdo?
Yeah.
You're going to get it, Naughton.
Here's Gerald Perry up there for the Royals to start the second inning and takes ball 1 from Adam Peterson.
Twilight of mediocrity, isn't it?
I did not say that. You're misquoting me. I simply said the twilight of his career. Wow, that one gets through. A base hit for Perry.
Ooh, that got through there in a hurry, too. They've hit some line drives against Adam Peterson so far in the early innings. We're only in the second.
The ball that Ozzie Guillen hit, even though it wasn't a line drive, was hit very sharply that way, but it didn't get through, and that ended the inning for the White Sox in the second.
Yeah, that was a big pitch there for Apier to get out of that inning right there. Second and third. Hopefully we won't have to talk about that inning in the post-game show today, because it means that the Sox didn't capitalize on a great opportunity to get ahead in this ball game.
All right, Willie Wilson ready to step in. The Royals with the leadoff man on. Their run that scored in the first came on a one-out triple by Pacoda, and then a ground out by George Brett to drive him in. And Willie Wilson fights one off and fouls it out of play off to the left.
Willie Wilson, it's up on the board right now, is Major League Baseball's active leader with 133 career triples. Now, Willie Wilson, when he was a bit younger, could absolutely fly. I mean, nobody in the league could run with him. I saw him hit a ball off the left center field wall at that 385 sign, and they just ran the cut off the relay and everything, and he had a stand up inside the park home run.
Fly ball, shallow left center. Lance Johnson takes charge and makes the catch. One down. That brings up McFarland.
Batting seventh, number 15, the catcher,
Mike McFarland, the Kansas City catcher. And in a season which Bob Boone has had some injury problems, McFarland has done a pretty good job for this club.
Great offensive numbers right there. You get a catcher to hit 280 with 4 homers, 45 RBIs. That's very productive at this point in the season. Mike's a good offensive player. He's got a good compact swing, and he just puts the ball in play hard. Good hitter in this particular ballpark.
Takes ball one, low and away. Gerald Perry, the runner at first. Perry with his leadoff single. There you see what Mike McFarland has done in his career against the White Sox.
Yeah, he likes the ball out over the plate. If you're going to throw him fastballs, they should be inside.
Pitch out, runner going. Here's Fisk's throw, and Gerald Perry is out. White Sox read the play.
Yeah, they guessed right. I don't know if they were all knowing right here, but obviously the hit and run was going to be on. McFarland took a stab at it, tried to protect Perry as best he could. Wait, there you see Pudge with a good throw down to second base. So Gerald Perry is nailed. Perry was 12 for 15 in stolen bases prior to that attempt. Nice going.
Yeah, Adam Peterson with a 1-1 count here to McFarland, and 2 out and nobody on. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. White Sox tomorrow night return home, doubleheader at Comiskey Park. Texas Rangers are in. Outside, Nolan Ryan is scheduled to pitch the second game of the doubleheader tomorrow night. They had listed him to pitch the first game of the Twin Bill, but then they made a change. McDowell will open for the White Sox against Craig McMurtry.
Which picture will come out on top?
Ball 3, strike 2.
Come on out and see him. Rangers been one of the hotter teams in baseball over the last month or so. They just dug themselves a very deep hole early in the season, but they've been playing very well lately. They're in Cleveland tonight.
Here's the 3-2 to McFarland. That's the first walk issued by Adam Peterson.
And you can really see the importance of that caught stealing right there, because you're talking about a first and second no out situation, and Adam Peterson is in deep trouble. I see Jeff Torborg He still doesn't like those walks. They always seem to find a way to score. Whereas a good solid line drive hit doesn't necessarily mean the guy's going to score.
Stillwell takes strike one on that first pitch. Yeah, McDowell against McMurtry. A few weeks ago we had McDowell against McDonald.
Aye, we did, didn't we?
By golly, we sure did.
McFarland should be catching one of them.
Yes, he should.
Oh, I don't think McFarland's going anywhere.
I don't either. And Frank Thomas isn't holding him on. The pitch is inside. Ball one, strike one to Stillwell.
All right. Name this quiz.
Uh-oh.
There are 5 sons of former Major League players on this Kansas City Royal team. Name them.
Well,
you can think about it a while.
Okay. Maybe I'll start with the 2 that come to mind the most immediately.
Whoops.
Up high, ball 2, strike 1. Well, you've got Danny Tartable.
Yes, sir. Jose Tartable.
Jose Tartable. Hal McRae's son, Brian, is playing.
Right.
And not in the lineup tonight, but on this Kansas City team, Bob Boone, who is the son of Ray Boone, and longtime White Sox fans remember when he played for the White Sox back in the late 50s. Boy, you pretty much got me on those 3 right there. That's about it. That's about it for me.
Okay.
Woohoo! It gets through. Stillwell singles into center, and McFarland goes to third. Didn't look like that ball was hit that hard either, but it had enough to get through on the artificial surface.
And McFarland's a good base runner too, Jim, because he sees that Lance Johnson has got to run to his left, and Lance does not have a strong throwing arm, so he's able to cruise into third base. For a catcher, you can do little things like this. See, Lance has got to go far to his left right here, cut the ball off, and that makes his throw that much farther to third base, so he gets to third easily. Runners now at the corners with 2 out. And one of the guys is the man right there on your screen, Kurt Stillwell. His dad played in the major leagues. And in the bullpen for the Royals, Mel Stottlemyre Jr.
Oh, Mel Stottlemyre. I forgot him. I would have known that one. You're right.
Nope. No, he wasn't there when we last saw Kansas City. Here's a good-looking young hitter, Brian McRae. His dad has taught him a lot. He's done well in this series.
Yeah, his dad, Hal McRae, probably one of the, well, without question, one of the most popular Kansas City Royals.
Ever, yeah.
Yeah.
Great hitter here. Good pitch.
Strike call. 2 strikes the count on Brian McRae.
Well, he just painted him on the outside corner right there. He looks a lot like his dad, too, facially. I'll tell you what he does better than his dad is run. He can fly.
Adam Peterson way ahead in the count, a chance to pitch out of this jam. Runners at first and third. And McRae lifts a pop-up. Robin Ventura has it. And the Royals are retired in the second. They threaten but don't score. They come up with 2 hits and leave 2. It's 1-0 Kansas City after 2. Back in Kansas City. It's the top of the third, and for the White Sox, the top of the order against Kevin Apier. Each team with 3 hits, the Royals with the game's only run. And while the White Sox return home to play a doubleheader tomorrow night, Kansas City will be hosting Milwaukee in a doubleheader here tomorrow evening. Phil Bradley ready to lead off. Base hit to start the ball game. Then Lance Johnson hit into a force play to take him off the bases. Gets a piece of that one and fouls it back.
And while we have a minute here, Jim, our stats man Ed Grum would like to say hi to his mom and dad in Waukegan. Big White Sox fans watching the game on Channel 9.
That pitch is fouled off, and by the way, your son is doing an outstanding job with the statistics here.
He is. I mean, he is.
He's even corrected the official notes on this game, and he is right.
Mr. Computer Head. There's Big Ed.
He thought he would only mention it in passing between innings, right? Little did he know.
If they're going to put my pictures up there, Ed, you're getting up there too, buddy.
1-2 to Bradley.
We're going to put your broadcaster card up there next, JD. We got to have it up there.
You guys are brutal. Still 1-2 to Bradley.
Wide angle lens to get that card in there. Hit down to second, and Pacoda throws out Bradley, no problem. How about that Dodger card, though? I'll bet you didn't even know there were any of those still in existence. I knew some kid had one, and he was complaining every day looking at. Thing is, we found out yesterday that is worth all of 15 cents now.
The Dodger card.
Yeah, it is. Tell you what, save that card, folks, in case you have it, because it's not worth much now, but 5 years from now, it's liable to be worth a lot less.
Lance Johnson with a base hit into right field. Well, as Yogi Berra would say, a nickel ain't worth a dime anymore.
Correct. Lance Johnson went down there and got that breaking ball. Hit it right in the hole. Gerald Perry had to play up because he was thinking of a bunt attempt. And the Sox have their 4th hit. We're only in the 3rd inning, 1 out. They've hit the ball hard off Apier, but have come up with nothing so far.
Calderon, 0 for 1. 2 for 14 in the series. Johnson stays put, and Apier's pitch high and inside.
You know, it looks like to me if Apier is going to have trouble with wildness, he's going to be wild up high because he really drops that back shoulder on his delivery, and the tendency is he's not going to get on top of the ball.
Johnson takes off. The pitch is chopped. Stillwell, a nifty pickup, and throws across to get Calderon.
The designated hitter, and Pascal.
With 2 down, Lance Johnson at second base.
That Stillwell does a nice job at shortstop. That was a difficult play. You have to catch it on the short hop. So 2 good plays already for him in this ball game. He took a hit away from Ozzie Guillen last inning and ended a threat by the Sox. Good young player. Came to Kansas City in the trade for Danny Jackson.
Now Danny Pasqua waiting.
Look out.
And in from Apier. So he's thrown high and tight to both Calderon and Pasqua.
Boy, he almost undressed Danny with that fastball. Of course, Pasqua's right on top of the plate, and he's going in for the ball on top of that. Did a nice job of getting out of the way of that pitch. Wow.
Fouled it back. Another pitch inside. Ball 1, strike 1.
Danny Pasqua's going to have to start looking for that pitch inside, Jim, if he's going to hit some homers off of it, because this entire series, that's where they have stayed. When they've gotten him out, they've been in on his hands. So, you know, until you have 2 strikes, you can go up there and look for that pitch. Get the head of the bat out, see if you can't hit one out of the ballpark.
McFarland sets up inside again.
Yep. See, Danny strides into the plate, and if he doesn't get the head of his bat out in front of home plate, he's going to jam the daylights out of himself like he did his last time up on a 3-1 pitch. Appears to be content to stay right in there.
2 balls and a strike. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Little slider there.
Lance Johnson at second with 2 down. White Sox down 1. We are in the 3rd. Kevin Apier will buy that sign, and again it's inside, and it's hit hard into right field, but Tarnable makes the play on Pasqua, and the White Sox are retired in the 3rd. No runs, they hit 1 left after 2.5. Still 1-0 KC.
The White Sox wives present an auction-filled evening on Sunday, August 12th from the 5:30 to 9 p.m. at the Excalibur in downtown Chicago. Sox players and wives will attend, plus the proceeds will benefit the Crisis Center of South Suburbia to help battered wives and children. For more information, call the Sox at 312-924-1000. And there are over 80 items up for auction that night, some of which are Carlton Fisk, Ozzie Guillen, and Bobby Thigpen jerseys autographed. A basketball signed by our close personal friend, number 23 of the Bulls, Michael J.
Seitzer trying to butt his way on in the third, fouls it. 4 strike 1.
Jose Canseco, an autographed bat. Walter Payton's game jersey from the Chicago Bears.
And
Bobby
also,
Hulse.
And also, dun 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 dun, an autographed basketball from the
Pistons.
The Pistons.
Yes, sir.
Your former team.
No. Yeah, when I was a little kid. Bobby Hull's hockey stick. Here's a great one. 4 tickets to the last game at Old Comiskey Park, plus limousine service. Anywhere you want to go. Nolan Ryan, autographed baseball. Pistons ball. UNLV autographed basketball. Lots of good stuff.
When is that again, Tom?
That will be this Sunday at the Excalibur, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Great auction for a worthy cause. Be there.
Outside. 1-1 to Seitzer. There's the Royals owner, Ewing Kauffman, looking on.
He's a good man. No smoking. Tell that guy to put out that pipe.
It's 2-1 to Seitzer. He's not far away, Tom. You could go down there and tell him yourself.
Nah.
All right. Seitzer drives a hit to right. And in the third, Kansas City with a leadoff man on.
He uses that good inside-out swing again. The pitch was over the inner part of the plate and up. And that's the pitch he likes to do, exactly that. Watch this pitch right here on the replay. Pitch is up, pretty much middle of the plate right there, but it's still a good pitch for him to go the opposite way, and he has made a living doing exactly that. That good inside-out swing. So Pacoda, the hitter with nobody out, he tripled and scored back in the first.
The game's only run to this point. Takes the first pitch for a strike.
Adams having trouble. He's given up 4 shots, 4 base hits already, Jim. He just hasn't established that split finger pitch. He has no changeup working for him right now. His fastball and slider are respectable pitches, but they're both just about the same speed. Got to mix in that split finger, which he uses as his changeup, something to offset that velocity. You got to speed these bats up, and then you got to slow them down a bit. Speed them up with that changeup, and then throw the good hard stuff.
He's 0-1 to Pacoda. Pacoda drives it into right field. Bradley over for the grab. 1 down. And now George Brett, who has the game's RBI when he grounded out to drive in Pacoda. In the first inning.
Now here's a situation where I'm sure John Wathen won't put on any type of play. Seitzer 5 for 8 stealing bases, but not until George has hit. First of all, George Brett can take advantage of that hole between first and second, which he does so many times. Gotten a lot of base hits and doubles that way too. And of course, if he steals second base, chances are they're not going to give George anything good to hit because they'll pitch around him. He knows all that. That's why they call him the Duke.
Pilgrim. Brett takes the first pitch for a ball.
There he is right there.
I tell you what, the Royals have got Well, they're in a stretch now where they're playing like 18 out of 21 games at home.
Yeah.
So even though they've had all the injury problems and so forth, and Brett hits one a long way, but foul. They've got an opportunity here to make up some ground because they've got a lot of games here in Royal Stadium in this stretch. And George Brett was talking with us the other night. The first thing they wanted to do was get out of last place. Well, they've done that. They've moved a half game ahead of Minnesota. And then they'll go from there. They're only 7 under 500.
And in the 70s and 80s, the Kansas City team was the most consistent. There's a split finger. See, he's just not, can't get on top of it. No movement on the pitch so far, Jim. Kansas City has been the most consistent organization, if not in baseball, certainly in the American League West over the last 2 decades. They are always right there. They're always in the hunt. Always have a chance to win, aside from this year. And, of course, that unbelievable streak of injuries that they've had has pretty much dealt them almost a fatal blow for this year.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ball 3, strike 1 to George Brett.
Let's see if Seitzer's moving here. I got to think he will be. Of course, George Brett does not strike out very often. If he decides to swing at this pitch, he'll probably put it in play. Chances of getting thrown out here are almost nil. And if he doesn't like the pitch, it'll be ball 4.
Adam Peterson trying to shorten Seitzer's lead over there.
So with that, he'll be going. Look at that bat. You think he's got enough pine tar on that?
Looks a little high on the bat handle to me. Fouls that one off.
Told you he wouldn't be running. He's got to be going here. I mean, it's
3-2, 1 out.
Well, it's automatic, really. They have a don't run sign if you're way behind or way out in front of a ball game. 3-2 with 1 out. He should be going. 3-2, 3-1 with 1 out.
He's going. And Brett tops it foul. The other night I asked George Brett on the pregame show, when was it that he was no longer Ken Brett's brother, but rather Ken Brett was George Brett's brother? He said probably 1976 when he won his first batting title.
That's pretty good reasoning.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, his brother Ken was one of the best hitting pitchers that I have ever seen. But he hit like home runs in 4 or 5 consecutive starts as a pitcher. He's a great hitter. Had a great arm too. He was an outstanding pitcher for many years.
Seitzer goes and the pitch is driven into right field. Seitzer to third base easily in Kansas City with runners at first and third. And 1 out as George Brett delivers again.
Uh-oh, he's hot. He gets a fastball inside. Unfortunately, he didn't get any altitude on this ball. Watch this swing. See, his head moves just a minimum. Fastball tailing away. And he just hooks it. Watch how little his head moves. Look at the contact, the follow through. That's a perfect swing. The weight shift from back to front is absolutely great. When George Brett is hot, he will go a month where he won't hit the ball softly. We said earlier in this, George was hitting .310. He went 3 for 25 and he hit the ball hard on 23 occasions. He lines out more than any hitter I've ever seen.
Swing and a miss by Tartabull. 1 strike the count. Danny Tartabull flying to center to end the first inning. Seitzer the runner at third, Brett at first. You can see the defensive alignment for the White Sox. They're playing halfway. Fouled off to the right, 2 strikes. A 1-0 ball game in the bottom of the third. 9 hits already tonight. 5 by Kansas City. 2-strike pitch. Good stop by Fisk.
I'm surprised George isn't at second base right now. He's usually as good as anybody. When the ball is in the dirt, he gets such a good jump. He would normally be on second base, but he wasn't really sure how far that ball got by Carlton Fisk.
1-2 the count to Tartable.
And the double play is still in order now.
Yeah. And Guillen and Fletcher are double play depth. Strike 3 call. Tartable called out on strikes. He's unhappy with that call by Jim McKeon.
And that is definitely the pitch of the night for Adam Peterson. Runners at the corners with only 1 out. And here's a blueprint right on the outside corner. Watch it. Looked like he had it. He just aced him with a great pitch. At the fastball, now there's 2 out for Gerald Perry. Gerald had a base hit in the second inning. Fortunately for the Sox, he was caught stealing on the next pitch.
Perry hitting .264 this time at the plate. And he drops one into center field for an RBI single. Brett pulls up at second. 2-0 Royals.
Adam almost got out of this mess, and he made a pretty good pitch right here, right on the hands of Gerald Perry. Gerald, very strong, though, is able to fight it off into center field for a bloop single. Look at this. Fastball, jam shot, base hit, RBI, 2-0. A lot of room out there, though, in the outfield because of the artificial surface. You got to play a little bit deeper, and a lot of those bloops will fall in this ballpark. So Perry now 2 for 2. And he's got 49 RBIs on the season. He's having a productive year for these guys.
The Royals are having a productive inning. 3 hits for a run here. Willie Wilson, the batter, with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Now Adam Peterson is ready. Fastball inside. 1-0.
You know, you'll recall in his last start, Jim, that Adam left the ball game pretty much because of a blister on his hand, on one of his fingers. And that may be the reason he's not throwing that split finger pitch often tonight, and certainly not effectively, because the blister may be between the 2 fingers, and he's not able to grip the ball.
Jeff Torborg keeping a close eye on him, but there's no action in the White Sox bullpen. 1-0 to Wilson. And that pitch misses. Ball 2, no strikes. One decision against the Royals in his career. 2 previous outings against Kansas City prior to tonight. And it's the first time this season that Peterson has faced the Royals. That loss came in the '88 season. 2-0 pitch. Foul back. 2-1.
Well, looks like Texas is going to be coming into Chicago on a hot note. Jim, they're beating Cleveland 12-0
in the 6th.
Yeah. There you go. That's either 4 field goals or a couple touchdowns without the extra points.
Yeah, the Rangers are on a hot offensive roll, no question about it.
Bobby Witt pitching that ball game. He is one of the 4 really tough Ranger starters that the Sox won't be seeing in that series this weekend. We will get Nolan Ryan, we will get Charlie Huff, and we will get Kevin Brown and Craig McMurtry.
The one thing the White Sox need about now is some home cooking. They need a good homestand.
Yeah.
They have had, win or lose this game, an outstanding road trip. You know, even though they started out, they lost the first 3 in Boston. They recovered with 5 wins in Milwaukee. They get the win here night before last. And they got a chance at a 7-5 trip. 6-6 for sure. And a possibility at a 7-5.
Yeah, that's a good road trip. 7-5 is definitely what Jeff Torberg would have taken. And when they left Comiskey last Sunday, seems like 2 months ago that we left.
Yeah, it was only last month. It was only July.
Yep.
2-2 the count to Willie Wilson. Fouls it off. He hangs in there. Talking about the Rangers, they coming into this ball game tonight, they had dropped their last 2, but well, they have been hot. They've even with those 2 losses, have still won 7 of their last 10, and they're 4 games over the 500 mark, in 3rd place in the West, starting play on this date. Right now they're 12 out after Oakland's victory today. The White Sox starting this game 3.5 back. And again, Wilson fouls it off. Still 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 on. Kansas City has added to the lead by scoring a run here in the 3rd. It's now 2-0. Peterson taking plenty of time, and now he wants to talk to Fisk. They want to make sure they're on the same page with Brett, the runner, in second. And that's a wise choice. You don't want to cross up your catcher at this stage. Could move 2 guys in the scoring position real easily. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Wilson goes down swinging at a fastball. Kansas City comes up with 1 and leaves 2, and after 3 full, the Royals have a 2-0 lead.
Top of the 4th inning here at Kansas City. The Sox trailing 2-0. And Carlton Fisk will lead things off. And last night he had a memorable home run. Home run number 327 as a catcher, tying Johnny Bench for the all-time leadership. Home runs by a catcher. You see the pitch. Tom Gordon throws him a curveball. It hangs a little bit inside. Pudge gets the head of the bat out and did a great job right there, JD, keeping that ball fair. Because usually when the ball hangs inside, what he did is he pulled with that front arm. There you see the greeting from his son Casey. They kind of like each other. That was great.
That's a great picture right there.
And there's the Caseru. He is going to
Illinois State.
Yes, sir.
He'll be a Redbird.
That's your alma mater.
That's right. The proud tradition of the Redbirds.
Some of the all-time greats have gone there.
You got
Buzz
that right.
Capra.
Dave Bergman.
Doug Collins.
That's right. And maybe the greatest of all,
Jim
Fisk
Durham
hits it off the fist toward the shortstop, and Stillwell throws him out. No, I was thinking more in line of a young diminutive right-hander, Tim Hallam, the ace publicist of the Chicago Bulls. Tim pitched for the Redbirds.
Yeah.
So you didn't know that, Tom?
The redheaded guy, right?
Not quite. What have you got?
I've got a hello to Joshua Tompkins and Zachary Moore. They're from Pound, Virginia. They had tickets but couldn't make it. They're watching the game on GN. All right, both are 9 years old and are big White Sox fans. Big swing and a miss by Frank Thomas, and it's 2 strikes. Cardinals beat the Cubs today 3-1 at Wrigley Field. Boy, in the 5th, the Dodgers big over the Reds 10-2. Philadelphia 3, the Mets won in the 5th. I got a story handed to me about that game. Montreal over Pittsburgh 5-4 in the 5th. 2-strike pitch, high, ball 1, strike 2.
Says here at the as you take a look at some of the other scores, San Diego leading Atlanta 5-0. Game in New York, the Mets and the Phils being delayed due to a bench clearing brawl.
All right. That's been known to happen.
Yeah, Pat Combs, the Philadelphia pitcher, hit Dwight Gooden in retaliation after Gooden hit Dickie Thon in the 2nd inning. And also it hit Tom Herr in the 5th.
Wow.
Beanball war, right? Tigers leading the Blue Jays in the 6th. The Yankees and Mariners later tonight in the American League. Ball 2, strike 2.
1985.
Wait, there's more.
Whoa, go ahead.
Yes, we have more. All right, let's watch this 2-2 pitch here to Thomas. High drive, right field. No problem for Danny Tartabull. 2 outs. As a result of this brawl, there were 7 ejections. Pat Combs and catcher Darren Dalton, relief pitcher Dennis Cook, and coach Mike Ryan were among those thrown out. New York lost the services of Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, and Tim Tuffle.
Wow.
Evidently, this wasn't one of those where they just come out and stand around and look at each other.
Bench clearing brawl. That, I'll tell you, one time when Dwight Gooden in 1985, when he was just throwing 150 miles an hour, Bill Gullickson knocked down Gary Carter during that game, and Gooden walked over to Gary. There's a strike to Ventura. Walked over to Gary and says, "Don't worry, kid, I'll get him for you." Carter never said anything, and Gullickson led off the next inning, and he just undressed him with a fastball.
Here's a pitch to Ventura, and he hits it foul off to the left.
He surgically removed his helmet. The doctor did.
The doctor, right?
No. Well, that happens a lot. One thing I never understood, nobody really liked the Mets. You know, they, back then anyway, they always thought they were a little bit arrogant or whatever, but they're really a fine bunch of guys. They're really a lot of fun. Well, they will fight you.
2-2 the count to Ventura as that one bounces in. So that's something. 7 players tossed. Well, 7 participants tossed.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
A 2-2 pitch. Foul back. Still 2-2 to Ventura with 2 outs and nobody on. We're in the White Sox 4th, and Kansas City has a 2-0 lead. Final game of this 4-game series. The last game on a 12-game road trip. After tonight, the White Sox will have a even Steven, home and road. There is a strike 3 call to Ventura. Second strikeout for Apier. And after 3.5, 2-0 Royals. The home 4th here in Kansas City with the Royals in front by 2. Another good crowd in Royal Stadium. Every game in this series has been well attended, and the Royals, attendance-wise, well, they're pretty much on line with a year ago.
Yeah, they're averaging about 30,000 a game. Not too shabby for a team that's been in last place most of the season. And they're here from Chicago.
They are.
John Pincala and Mike Palm. Die-hard Sox fans cheering for Carlton Fisk.
McFarland pops it foul, out of play. Down the left field line. A 1 strike. McFarland walked in the 2nd. This afternoon in Oakland, the A's beat Baltimore. 5-2 was the final. So starting tonight, the Sox 3.5 out in the West. There's a hard hit ball into left center. Ivan Calderon is there and hauls it in. McFarland retired, leading off the 4th.
Kevin Apier, through 4 innings, has thrown only 53 pitches, 37 strikes and 16 balls. In 3 innings, Adam Peterson threw 57 pitches, 34 strikes and 23 balls, so that's not a very good ratio. Adam has yet to establish that split finger pitch, which made him so effective in his last few outings.
Yeah, he needs an easy inning. And with the bottom third of the order here, it's possible he could get it. Although Stillwell's a good hitter, he's 1 for 1 tonight and takes the first pitch inside.
Yeah, you're right. Stillwell is a good hitter, and
especially left-handed.
Yeah, much better hitter left-handed, statistically anyway, although his RBI count is pretty similar from both sides of the plate. Breaking ball there.
1-1.
See, Adam Peterson tonight, Jim, is basically a 2-pitch pitcher. He's trying to get that grip for that split finger, as you can see right there, but he's fastball slider, and there's not a whole lot of difference between those 2 pitches, so you almost could classify him as a 1-pitch pitcher tonight.
Without the split finger.
Yeah?
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike to Stillwell.
Stillwell, 287 hitter, actually about a 290 hitter right now, left-handed, only 202 right-handed.
The 2-1 pitch.
Wow.
That's hit a long way, but foul.
He turned on that one.
2-2. Hits that one into right field for a hit. Stillwell with his second hit tonight. A 1-out single.
These Royal hitters are right on Adam Peterson. Everything he throws, if he doesn't hit the outside corner at the knees, he's going to have a tough time. And that is Kurt Stillwell's 500th career hit. He's going to get a lot more because he's a fine young hitter. There you see the sinking fastball out over the plate. He nails it in the right field. 500th career hit on his 2000 career at bat. That's 1/4. That's only 250. Better hitter than that.
Pitch is outside. Brian McRae with 1 out and 1 on. Kurt Stillwell, the runner at first. Thomas holding him. And McRae hits one into right center field. And Lance Johnson does get to the ball, but they're going to bring Stillwell around third. Here's the relay way high. It's 3-0 Kansas City. McRae delivers. That's his second run batted in his brief stay in the big leagues.
He nailed it too. He gets the head of the bat out right here. You can see the pitch is down low. He has hit everything very hard that it's down low. His first time up, Adam threw him a high fastball and hit a weak pop-up to the third baseman. Couldn't get to it. As you can see, Kurt Stillwell never slows up. Head first, he didn't need to. 3-0 Royals. 3 runs on 8 hits, and they have been pummeling the ball.
Hey, Tom, they just scored a runner from first on a ball that didn't get through.
Yeah. Well, that looks like a throwback to the old days, late 70s and the early 80s. Kansas City very aggressive on the base paths. Stillwell with good speed. Scotty just unloads right here, way too high. Peterson is backing up, as you can see, but the run scores, and the Sox are threatened right here to get blown out of the ballpark.
Just when we thought that perhaps Adam Peterson would have an easy inning when he got McFarland to fly out to open the inning. Now 2 hits, single and an RBI double, and the Royals add to the lead. And Kevin Seitzer up there, he's 1 for 2. Inside. McRae, the runner at second with one out. Good speed and scoring position.
No action yet in the Sox bullpen. They know, Jeff Torborg knows about that doubleheader tomorrow. He wants to have as many fresh arms as possible for that game. For both games.
Strike called. 1-1. Well, it's not the first time that Adam Peterson has had to bite the bullet and push on. You know, he had that game in Baltimore a few weeks ago.
Yeah. After
the bullpen had been worked over and they just needed a complete game, and even though he took the loss, he went the distance.
And he had a complete game last on this road trip in Boston against Roger Clemens.
Yep. Here's a 1-1. Ball 2, strike 1. White Sox at the outfield playing Seitzer straight away. Kansas City a run in the first, a run in the third, a run so far in the fourth. One out. And there's Brian McRae at second base. Outside. Ball 3, strike 1. Eight hits for the Royals so far in this one. And not many of them have been of the cheap variety. They have hit the ball hard off Peterson. Ball 4. Seitzer is on for the second time. That's 2 walks given up by Peterson.
The second baseman, Bill Pacoda.
Here's Bill Pacoda, who tripled in the first and scored their first run. Runners at first and second.
That was a big walk, too, because it really presents the absolute possibility that George Brett will hit this inning. You don't want that the way Georgie's swinging the bat.
Oh, that's correct. Ball 1 to Pacoda. Not only will he hit, but it's possible he could be up there with the bases loaded.
Yeah. Or at least a couple guys on base and in scoring position.
The double play ball would look good right here. Ball 1, no strikes. Pacoda takes it outside, 2-0. Following White Sox baseball tonight on Channel 9, we will have the 9 o'clock news.
Just a bit late.
We are hoping, though, that the highlights of the 9 o'clock news will feature a White Sox victory. Pacoda pops it up. Frank Thomas over. Has the play. Wow. A big out.
Big out. He swung at ball 3 and got an out. So there's 2 outs for George. Runner still at first and second. This is a big batter for Adam, because if George unloads right here, he can almost rack him up.
Yeah, so far Kansas City has been nickel and diming Peterson. Need a run here, a run there, a run here.
Well, the one thing the Royals didn't have in that first ball game that they won 5-4 was any sustained attack. They've been coming at Adam really hard the first 4 innings of this ball game.
First pitch to Brett is ball 1.
That was George Brett hitting. It wasn't you, it wasn't me. There you see George, 385 since the All-Star break, 42 for 109. He's capable of doing that, and he must have lined out, according to what we have heard, you know, another 30 times in those at-bats. Could have probably had 70 hits.
There's a strike, 1-1.
He'll do that. He'll go a month where he won't hit the ball soft. Won't strike out.
I'll tell you what, Tom, the year that he almost hit 400, he went a season I mean, he went a season and he was on the whole year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was over 400, I believe, mid-September. There's a smash fair down the right field line. It'll drive in two. And George Brett is in the second with a two-run double. He's got 3 RBIs in the game, and Kansas City has opened up a 5-0 lead.
The right fielder, Eddie Tarnell.
When he's hot, 30th double of the season, as you can see on the screen. George just rips it. Big Frank has got no chance. He got the fastball. Watch it. Watch this swing. Look at how little his head moves. Just rips it. He turns those hips quickly on the inside fastball. Nails it. 2 more runs. It's 5-0 Kansas City.
And Tarnell bounces one to third. And Ventura fires across to get him. That retires the side, but the Kansas City Royals come up with 3 in the 4th. And now as the White Sox come to bat in the 5th, they're down by 5.
There you see it, top of the 5th inning here at Kansas City. Royals dominating this game 5-0. And while we have a moment, let's say hello back in Chicago to Dick Connie and a group from Midway Dodge pulling for a White Sox victory. The Dodge boys, the good guys with the white hats.
The second baseman, Scott Fletcher.
Kevin Napier goes to the mound with 5 runs to work with. Scott Fletcher to lead off for the White Sox here in this 5th inning. Fletcher struck out in the second. Boy, a big strikeout for Napier at that time because the White Sox had runners at second and third and 1 out. Kevin Napier has been real tough so far. And strike 1 to Fletcher. Napier started this game with an earned run average of 3.11 in 107 innings of work. Time called. Now the strike 1 pitch. Chopped towards second. Tough play by Pacoda, but he made it look easy. Took it off the short hop and got Fletcher.
The second baseman.
White Sox closing out the road trip tonight, and we'll be with you on Channel 9 Tuesday night at Comiskey Park, 7 o'clock. The Toronto Blue Jays are in, and then the pregame show starting at 7 in Texas next weekend. 7:30 games against the Rangers on the 17th and 18th, and then back at Sox Park August 23rd. California Angels, that's a night game, 7 o'clock telecast. Ozzie Guillen takes it inside from Napier. Back in early July, Napier had a 1-hitter against the Tigers, and it was a first inning single by Lou Whitaker. That was the hit he gave up. Guillen lifting the pop fly into shallow right center, and McRae over in front of Tarnell for the catch.
The right fielder, Phil Bradley.
Well, that's 7 in a row retired by Kevin Napier. Phil Bradley 1 for 2 stands in. Fastball for a strike. Ain't nothing fancy about it now, Tom, with his 5-run lead. Boy, he is coming at you with fastballs right away. Swing. And a miss, 2 strikes.
Well, he's settled down. It's a lot easier to pitch with a 5-run lead, Jim.
Yep.
And there's no doubt that he has had good confidence. He's working much more quickly in the last couple of innings than he did in the first 2. He was a little bit unsure of himself. 22-year-old right-hander. He's got good stuff.
2-strike pitch. Outside, 8 ball, 2 strikes. Tomorrow night in the first game of the doubleheader against Texas, it'll be Craig McMurtry for the Rangers, Jack McDowell pitching for the White Sox. In the second game, Nolan Ryan for Texas against Wayne Edwards. Wayne Edwards getting a start in the second game of the Twin Bill. Ball 2, strike 2 to Bradley. And as we mentioned tonight, perhaps you weren't with us during the pregame show, but boy, a lot of new faces will be unveiled at Comiskey Park. A lot of guys who weren't with the ball club when they left to come on this road trip, and there's one of them, Phil Bradley. Off the fist. Stillwell, a pickup. He digs it out too late. That's a tough play for Stillwell. Even had he fielded it cleanly, I don't know if he would have gotten Bradley.
Oh, that was a real tough play right here. Phil Bradley did a good job hustling too, because he gets jammed real bad on this fastball. Look at this. Ow, right off his fingernails. Apier falls off to the mound, though, to the first base side, so he can't make the play. Now Stillwell rushes, makes the throw, and Phil Bradley with a good hustle. Bad job of stretching there by Gerald Perry. He tried to do it with his left foot, really didn't get out there and help his fielder.
Swing and a miss. Lance Johnson, 1 strike.
I've always been a firm believer of being a 1-foot first baseman, Jim. Tag the base with the same foot every time, unless, of course, the ball's hit to the catcher and you have to go outside the playing field in foul territory. Gerald tried to tag him with his left foot right there and just got a little bit messed up and couldn't stretch. You know, a lot of times when you stretch out there a little bit and sheet come off the bag, an umpire will call him out.
Lance Johnson pulls it foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Good pickup over there by a fan. Well, in 4 2/3 innings, the White Sox have managed 5 hits against Apier, but no runs so far. There goes Bradley. Pitch is high. McFarland's throw is high, and on it goes into short center field. It's a stolen base for Bradley. That's
Second stolen base on the night for the Sox. It just goes to show you they're willing to run with a 5-run deficit. But Apier really paid no attention whatsoever to Phil, and he was able to get that 13th stolen base of the season rather easily. McFarland had no chance. Good jump, good speed, forget it.
1-2 pitch to Johnson. Ow. Yep, he fights it off. Little pop on the left side. Stillwell has it. White Sox are retired in the 5th. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We're halfway through regulation, and the Royals have a 5-run lead. Bottom of the 5th, and Gerald Perry up against Adam Peterson. Strike call. Perry, Wilson, and McFarland. 1-1.
Gerald Perry, as you can see, 2 for 2 with that RBI. It was a good acquisition by Kansas City. When they acquired those good free agent pitchers, were what they thought were going to be great free agent pitchers. Charlie Liebrandt was expendable. They traded him. There's a good split finger. Best one he's thrown so far tonight.
Peterson runs ahead in the count with it. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, but Perry was a good acquisition, though. Charlie Liebrandt didn't figure in their plans, but they needed an extra hitter. And Gerald Perry came here right now, hitting .266, 7 homers, 49 RBI, so he's contributed.
Count even at 2-2. Yeah.
Look at that. 364 in his last 13 games.
And he lifts a high pop fly, left field line, foul territory, and Ivan Calderon has it. 1 out.
The left fielder.
He set that up with that split finger pitch. He made a good pitch with that, and then he came back with the high fastball, and he was a little bit late on it. So Adams going to have, if he's going to stay in this ball game, he's going to have to flip a few of those split fingers up there for strikes.
Not necessarily. He may stay in anyway. This is the night he's going to have to take one for the staff.
Yeah, you got that plane flight home. And then back to the ballpark early tomorrow, 5 o'clock game time.
1 out. Willie Wilson hits a rocket into right field. And Phil Bradley hustles that ball back in.
The catcher.
That's 10 hits for the Royals. And Mike McFarland, the batter.
First hit for Willie, he got one down. Willie Wilson's a real good low ball hitter. Fastballs up is the way you try and get him out. So McFarland will be the hitter. 0 for 1. He walked and lined out to left field.
That was in the 4th when we thought that maybe that would be an easy inning for Peterson. But no. Kansas City added 3 runs in that inning. Another hard hit ball, but at Ventura. They've got the out at second and at first as they turn the double play going around the horn. No runs for the Royals in the 5th. 1 hit, nobody left. 5-0 Kansas City as we head to the 6th. There's 15,000 fans attending the doubleheader tomorrow night will receive the 4th in a series of collector pins, compliments of Coca-Cola. And the pin you'll get tomorrow night features the Sox batter logo that has been used since 1976. For tickets, call Ticketmaster 312-559-1212. Calderon to lead off against Apier here in the 6th. 0 for 2, flied out and grounded out. Taps that one toward third, and Seitzer fires across and gets him.
1 pitch, 1 out. Boy, I'll tell you what, the Sox hitters have really helped out Apier tonight. He's been throwing first pitch strikes. 16 out of the first 22 hitters he has faced have been first pitch strikes. Is that right, Ed Grimley?
That's Ed McIntosh.
He's the best, isn't he?
Yes, sir. Statistics at his fingertip. Strike call to Pasqua. They work him inside, and that fastball over the inside corner.
Apier's gotten himself in a nice pitching groove right now. He's working very quickly, as you can see.
First time they've gone away tonight from Pasqua.
That was a split finger pitch. That serves up to his pitch, almost goes as a screwball. The different tensions that you put on the ball when you put them between those 2 fingers can cause it to dance. Oh boy.
Strike 2.
Fastball right there. Pretty much hitting the target here. Look at that. Just tying Danny up. See where he strides right to home plate. The only way he can hit that pitch is if he gets the bat way out ahead, the head of the bat way out in front of the plate. Can't hit it staying back there.
Here's a 1-2. Wow. Fouls it off. Boy, Apier, he's going to give Pasqua nightmares tonight.
Well, he hung him a breaking ball last time and he lined out to right. There's a breaking ball down and in. I would think he'll come right back inside with the fastball here with 2-2. 2-2 count, 1 out, nobody on. They're playing him pretty much straight away with McRae shading to right center.
A high drive, right field line, going foul.
He got closer there, getting that head out where he wanted it. Last swing. Let's see if Danny gets the head out. A little bit better there. Not quite far enough out there. The top hand takes over, and that's why the ball goes foul.
Hits that one sharply, but down to Perry, and Gerald Perry outruns Pasqua to first for the unassisted putout.
And here's a chance for all Sox fans to enter the True Value Dodge Turn Out the Light sweepstakes to win a 1991 Dodge Caravan or an opportunity to become the last person to turn out the lights at Comiskey Park. Entry forms are available at your neighborhood True Value hardware store or any Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana Dodge dealer. Yeah.
Well, Carlton Fisk has been the White Sox offense the last 2 nights. Takes ball 1 from Apier. Last night against Tom Gordon, he hit the home run that, yes, tied him with Harold Baines for the most homers in a White Sox uniform, and also tied him with Johnny Bench for the most home runs as a catcher. That was the only run of the game against Tom Gordon. Tonight, no runs so far. 2-0 the count.
You said it on the pregame. The team with 5 runs is going to win. Nice going.
Well, that's been the case so far in this series.
We need some points. Got to start that offense going right here. Only real opportunity was in the 2nd inning. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, didn't score.
Smash foul. 2-1.
Your attention, please. Tom Jarvis, defend accommodations. Tom Jarvis.
Carlton Fisk batting, 2-1 the count, 2 out, nobody on. 6th inning here at Royal Stadium. A lot of White Sox fans plan their vacation around this trip to Kansas City. Boy, a lot of Chicago people here. Strike call, 2-2. On this road trip, Sox games have been well attended by their fans, with, of course, big numbers up at County Stadium. Fisk steps away. Now the 2-2. Fouled it back. Except for that infield single by Bradley in the 5th, Napier has been mowing him down.
Yeah, that was a jam shot up the middle that he could have made the play had he not fallen off the mound to the first base side.
Yeah, there's a drive into the right field corner. It is foul.
Just missed. Well, when things aren't going so well, you'll miss by 6 inches to a foot, as Pudge did right there.
Still 2-2 to Carlton. Dodgers win tonight 10-3 at Cincinnati. And the Reds have hit on hard times, but the Giants, who were closing, they've stumbled of late. Still, it's much closer over there in the National League West than it was early on.
Yeah, the Dodgers picked up a game on Cincinnati.
Yep.
With that win, Lou Piniella, he don't like to lose. That's that vein was sticking out of his neck tonight. Getting beat 10-3. And the Dodgers, you know, they were legitimate contenders at the start of this year. They had a much stronger team on paper than what they had a couple years ago when they won the World Series.
That's true.
They had some players.
There's another foul ball by Fisk.
You know, Eddie Murray is just having a terrific year over there this year, hitting well over 300. Cal Daniels, Hubie Brooks. They just might not mesh as a team. Individually, they have great talent, but you got to have that unity. Got to be able to perform out there as a team. Or a Hershiser's loss certainly hurt the Dodgers. Oh, boy.
Right. Fisk strikes out. And that ends the 6th inning, and the White Sox go in order. Napier with 3 strikeouts. Kansas City a 5-run lead as the Royals come to bat in the 6th. The home 6th. And Kurt Stillwell will be up there against Adam Peterson.
It's not a very good story right there that line score shows you. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Royals. 0-5-0 for the White Sox. And the bad thing about this, Jim, is the fact that it appears that Kevin Apier is getting stronger as this game goes on. And the Royal bats have been hot. They're swinging it very well against Adam Peterson, but he's still out there. He's gutting it out. Doing it for the team.
Yeah, taking one for the staff.
Well, they went deep in there last night because of Greg Hibbert. Normally.
Yeah, his early exit last night, 2 1/3, and they had to get into the bullpen.
That's right. Don Paul pitched 3 2/3. Ken Patterson an inning, and Scott Radinsky also an inning. So Barry Jones and Thiggy were the only ones that didn't work. Let's see. And of course Ken Patterson. Oh, Patterson worked an inning. That's right. Paul, Patterson, and Radinsky all worked last night.
1-1. The count to Stillwell. Played nicely by Frank Thomas.
Thank you very much. Big Frank, he'll cover some ground over there, won't he? 6'5", 240 pounds, former tight end from Auburn University. Look at it. Wow. Man, that ball's hit like a bullet. You know, he is a tremendous athlete, Jim. Frank Thomas. He can run for a big guy. I mean, he's got better than average, certainly major league speed at that size. Good reflexes. The one thing he doesn't do good is throw a baseball. And that can be taught.
There's a strike call to McRae.
I mean, he can throw a baseball, but he's got to throw it properly, especially to second base. Ron Clark has been working with him every day on this road trip since he's showed up. Brian McRae, you got to keep that fastball up on him. He'll swing at it.
Well, he delivered tonight a RBI double. Takes that pitch inside, 1-1.
I like this guy right here, Brian McRae. Took him a while to develop. He signed as a 17-year-old 5 years ago. Now he's 22. He can play some. Uh-oh.
It is fair down the right field line. Bradley over to get it, and McRae will hold with a double. Well, Brian McRae has his second double of the game.
He does a lot of things good. Watch him. He double clutches here, Jim, but the thing he does so well is the fact he kept those hands back. That's the reason. It was a split finger pitch, not that bad of a pitch, and he kept his hands back. He didn't move his head forward that much and was able to pop it right at the last, take advantage of the artificial surface. Second double on the night. He's a good-looking hitter.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking player. Pudge was even saying that before the game tonight. He was saying he thinks that Brian McRae is going to be a good one. And he knows.
He would. Seitzer fouls it back. That's 11 hits for the Royals. 4 of them for extra bases. 3 doubles and a triple.
And when you're catching, you can see where a guy sets up and where he makes contact with the ball, what his tendencies are, what his weaknesses are, pretty much. Carl Fisk has seen a few 100,000 hitters up
close and personal, right?
Up close.
That pitch misses the Seitzer. Ball 1, strike 1.
He's seen a few derrieres in his day.
Well, with Seitzer up there, he had 3 doubles last night. The Royals, as a team, with 3 doubles tonight, they lead the American League with 225 two-base hits.
And a lot has to do with this ballpark, too. Great doubles park. Got a lot of triples here, too. That one's fouled back.
Yeah, and they got one of those tonight. Ball 1, strike 2. You're right. This is an extra base hitting ballpark if you got the team speed.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you used to come in here in the 70s, late 70s, 80s. These guys would run you right out of the ballpark. Of course, I wasn't exactly on the 27 Yankees at the time. It was the Seattle Mariners, and we were scuffling. But these guys would just murder us, hit and run you to death.
Oh, a little check down to first base. Thomas makes the play. 2 outs. Runner advances to third. So Seitzer is out on that check swing.
The second baseman, Bill Dakota.
You know, Hal McRae had a chance to manage this ball club a couple of years ago, but he wanted a little bit lengthier contract. So the Royals said, well, we're not willing to do that right now. So they went to their AAA manager, which was John Wathan. That would have been interesting, too, because Hal could have been managing his own son. When was the last time that happened? Has that ever happened in baseball?
I'm not sure. A swing and a miss to Pacoda. The Ripkins.
Well, that's right. The Ripken. That's right. Cal Ripken Sr. He managed Cal. There's a Duke. He's done a nice job over there. They're very even-tempered. Good job holding this team together through a lot of adversity.
Foul ball. 2 strikes to count on Pacoda.
John Wathan has been a member of the Kansas City Royals since he signed, and that was a long time ago. He had a good career here in Kansas City as a catcher, utility man, good solid hitter, and from the day he signed, he has only put on one colored uniform, that the blue and white of Kansas City.
Here's a 2-strike pitch outside. Bill Pacoda up there. The Royals with a 5-0 lead. And Brian McRae at third with 2 outs.
Here's a reminder, White Sox games are always more enjoyable with a group of friends or colleagues. For more information on special group rates and picnic and patio parties, call the White Sox group sales office at 312-924-1000.
Chopped down to Guillen. Ozzie fires across. Pacoda is retired, as are the Royals in the 6th. So they threaten but don't score. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We go to the 7th, 5-0 KC. Ready to go to the 7th here at Kansas City. And before we do, a reminder. A 1 Troy-ounce silver coin commemorating both the old and new Comiskey Parks is now available for $29.95. For information on this sure collector's item, call 1-800-765-2345. Kevin Apier with a 5-hit shutout working. And Frank Thomas leads off the 7th inning. Strike called.
Once again, 82 pitches now thrown by Kevin Apier. 58 strikes, only 24 balls, 18 first pitch strikes.
Ball 1, strike 1.
That was from Ed Gromley.
Better known as Statman.
No.
It's fouled off to the right. 1-2. There he is.
There once again. Big Ed from Waukegan. Big White Sox fan as he was growing up.
One ball and 2 strikes to Frank Thomas. Hard hit
nice
ball. It was knocked down by Pacoda, but he couldn't make a play. I tell you what, when Frank Thomas hits him, they're hit hard.
That was a breaking ball right there. Not that bad of a pitch with 2 strikes, and Frank once again goes the opposite way and hammers it. Let's watch the swing here. Slider down and away, and he nails it. Good job by Pacoda. That ball's hit like a bullet, especially on this artificial surface.
And that's why he hits the ball to right field so often. They just stay outside with him.
Well, they did on that pitch. Wasn't that bad of a pitch. It just shows you that Frank Thomas can handle some pretty good pitching. He's got 2 hits.
Ventura takes it high. Ball 1.
Robin needs to get going.
Yep.
He's not swinging the bat well in the last few ball games, and they need his bat because he has been Mr. Clutch all season long, getting those big 2-out RBIs. Slider inside, 2-0.
Fletcher is on deck, and now McFarland out to talk to Kevin Apier.
And here's a time right here where Apier's had great control of the whole ball game. He's liable to throw it right down Broadway here. Robin's got to gear up for that fastball. See if he can't hit it a mile. Look at those numbers. 6 hits in 6 1/3 innings. No walks. That's a key for Apier. And 3 strikeouts. Coming into this game, he had 35 walks in 103 innings. That's not bad, not good.
Little pop fly left field. And Willie Wilson has it, 1 out.
See, that's a real bad at bat right there. Robin's got to be able to get the head of the bat out on a 2-0 pitch, and he's behind it once again. I think he's diving out over the plate a little bit too much again and not making that contact out in front of home plate. You don't do that, you can't drive it. You don't hit it out in front of home plate, you're just going to hit pop-ups.
Here's Fletcher. Scotty Fletcher. Trying to keep something going here for the White Sox in the 7th. And he loops one out over second, and it gets through.
What a play by Pacoda.
Whoa.
My.
Frank Thomas had to put on a little burst at the end to get there.
Oh, you don't get them much cheaper than this right here. That's a base hit for Scotty. But here's a squibber right off the end of the bat. Watch it right here. He's fooled by a breaking ball. And look at Scotty. He commits early, hits right off the end. A little nubber. Perfectly placed, though. But Pacoda, watch this play. Barehanded. It's still going real slow. If there's anybody at second base, they've got to force out. Alertly, Stillwell gets back, but he had committed to the ball just like Pacoda did. Good effort.
Now the Sox with runners at first and second. That's their 7th hit. And here's Ozzie. Ozzie Guillen working on an 0 for 2. Needs a hit to keep that hitting streak working. Ozzie shoots one down the right field line.
Get up.
It is fair into the corner. Ozzie Guillen is into second. Thomas scores and Fletcher on to third. It's a 5-1 game. Ozzie's got his 13th double and 35th run batted in.
Ozzie Guillen can pull that breaking ball. He'll get the head out. He's an excellent off-speed hitter. He got one down here, and he just got it inside the right field line. Our 13th double, and as Jim mentioned, 35 RBIs on the season. And I'm thinking Scotty Fletcher's, that's a split finger pitch, and not a bad one either, down and in, but Ozzie digs it out. Scotty doesn't have that little hamstring pull. I think he would have scored from first base as well, because he's got to know off the bat that no way is Danny Tartable going to catch this ball. Look at that. He dug that one out. That's great hitting.
Strike one to Phil Bradley as he fouls off the first pitch from Apier.
Come fighting back right here. 2 men in scoring position for Phil Bradley.
Steve Farr working in the Kansas City bullpen.
Well, he pitched 3 strong innings in the opening game of this series. And here comes Funky Frank. Frank Funk, the pitching coach for the Royals, out there to talk with Apier. He may have been come a little bit unglued. You see the last sequence, what happened this inning. Thomas hit a good pitch for a base hit. There's nothing wrong with what Apier did. Scotty Fletcher nubbed one up the middle. That wasn't a bad pitch. And then Ozzie dug out that split finger pitch for a double to score the run. And, you know, if he comes a little bit unglued, that's what Frank Funk is trying to guard against, and John Wathan. Hey, that's not your fault. They did a good job right there putting the ball in play. Plus, you got some bad luck with Fletcher. So hang with him and get this guy.
1 out and 1 strike to Bradley. Oh, these 2 runs would be big to pick up. Get the White Sox back into contention here.
8 hits now.
Inside 1-1.
We will see Farr in this game, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Apier, let's see. Does he have any complete games this year? He's got 2 shutouts. Well, of course, you mentioned he had the 1 hitter against Detroit early on.
And he had a complete game shutout against Boston, and Bradley delivers a single up the middle. 1 run is in, and Ozzie comes around to score. And now it's a 5-3 game as Phil Bradley picks up 2 RBIs.
Oh, boy, here's a good job by Phil. This time he does make a mistake. He hangs a breaking ball. It's like a slider, and Phil Bradley's a good off-speed hitter. Look at it. Right there, right in his wheelhouse. Hits it hard, no chance for anybody to make a play. So Phil Bradley, 2 RBIs, 28 and 29 on the season. Lance Johnson will hit. It's 5-3. Whoa.
I'll bet you.
This is where the plot thickens, my man.
Yes, sir. And with, you got a good reliever out there in Farr. I'm thinking Wathan will make a move here. I might be wrong. And here he comes. Yaha, the Duke. Sashaying his way on out there.
So for Kevin Apier, it's going to be 6 1/3 innings this evening. 9 hits, 3 runs so far, and 3 strikeouts. Kansas City Royals making a change here in the 7th inning. And we'll return to Royals Stadium and tell you about our new pitcher in a moment.
There's a look at Kevin Apier. He is lifted after 6 1/3 innings. The White Sox with 3 runs here in the top half of the 7th. And threatening once again. So John the Duke Wathan goes to his bullpen and brings out Steve Farr. Right-hander is 8-5 on the year. Look at this. 41st appearance tonight. 2.16 ERA. So he has been outstanding for the Royals this season. Look at this. Only 59 hits in 79 innings. He has walked 32. That's a bit high, but he can strike you out 64. He's got a good fastball, slightly above average, that he can really spot. And he did a great job pitching the Sox hitters inside the other night with that fastball. First game of this series, he worked 3 innings and gave them absolutely nothing. He's got a slider and a big breaking curveball. So basically a 3-pitch pitcher. He can also throw a changeup. His job right now is to try and close this thing out for Kevin Apier. Apier responsible for Phil Bradley, and don't put it out of your head that Bradley won't be stealing here. The Sox have stolen 2 bases already tonight on the Kansas City pitchers. And Bradley to get in scoring position. I'm sure Jeff Torborg would think that is a worthwhile gamble here. So Lance Johnson, the hitter, 1 out, and this plot is really thickening.
With Farr and with Montgomery, what the Royals have almost is a double closer, because Farr, last year he had 18 saves, and the year before that he had 20. So he's had 38 saves the last couple seasons. And even though he has none here, the other night, boy, he, as Tom mentioned, he had 3 outstanding innings against the White Sox on Monday. And Johnson bounces one. They get the out at second, on to first. A double play. Pacoda to Stillwell to Perry on the 4-6-3. And Jeff Torborg is coming out to visit with first base umpire Larry Young. Anyway, the Sox come up with 3. And as the Royals come to bat in the 7th, their lead is down to 2.
League West.
Let's take a look at the Miller Lite scoreboard in the National League. The Cardinals beat the Cubs this afternoon. Tonight, the Dodgers over Cincinnati. In the 8th, the Mets lead Philadelphia in a bench-clearing brawl, a game that featured a bench-clearing brawl. 7 participants were thrown out, including Dwight Gooden, Darryl Strawberry on the New York side. In the 9th, Pirates Montreal tied at 6. San Diego leading Atlanta, or beat Atlanta 7-0 as that final is in. We'll check out the American League in a moment. Here is George Brett leading off the 7th for the Royals. And Brett takes strike 1 from Adam Peterson. George Brett with 3 runs batted in tonight. Had a 2-run double in the 4th.
He's hot.
Yeah.
He is sizzling. I'll tell you, it doesn't even look like the same hitter we saw first time in here. George has opened up his stance a bit, really got that hip cocked nicely. Look at that. Well, as I say that, he takes the worst swing he's ever taken in his life on a good split finger pitch by Adam Peterson.
2 strikes the count.
Well, we showed you emphatically why he's hitting so well. His head is just moving 6 to 8 inches Mako on every swing, so he's constantly in that zone, that good hitting zone.
Here's a 2-strike pitch.
There's the splitter.
Stays high out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ken Patterson working in the White Sox bullpen. Ball 2, strike 2.
See, I think Adam really can't get a grip on that split finger pitch. He's almost showing it to the hitter. He's almost like squaring up to him before he's even delivering that pitch, really slowing up his motion. I think that blister's bothering him some.
Another hard hit ball by Brett. 3-hit night for George Brett.
Skip, can we see that swing again? This is just picture perfect. Watch it. Watch the short stride right there. See the head contact out in front of home plate. See, that's the key with George Brett. See, George strides towards home plate. He is far away from the plate. But watch where he makes contact right there. The head of the bat is out in front of home plate. That's why he can pull the ball. That's why he can go the opposite way so well. He's good.
Oh, boy. Tartable takes a pitch high. How high is the average? 306 and rising.
Oh, yeah. 7 for 15 this series with 5 RBIs. Day in and day out, he will hit the ball harder than any hitter in baseball.
Up high, 2-0 to Tartable.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's high or low either, hard or soft. George Brett, hitter extraordinaire.
He was at 200 in early May when the White Sox were here.
Yeah, and looking awful too. Remember the Sox were playing him like a right-handed pull hitter. Everybody to the left side. He was just hitting weak fly after weak fly to left field. No mas.
And Tartable hammers the 2-0 pitch foul down the left field line. Well, Texas cruised tonight against Cleveland, 13-5 Rangers. Maybe they got it out of their system tonight.
Who's that, the Rangers?
The Rangers.
Well, they got to feel pretty good about themselves right about now. They only salvaged the last game of that series against Cleveland. 1 out of 3. Oh, boy.
Big cut by Tartable, 2-2.
Danny's 0 for 3 on the night. Lined out to center, strikeout in the third, called strike, and grounded to third.
35,700 here at Royal Stadium tonight. There's a drive to center. Lance Johnson away back and makes the grab. Remember, that's a deep center field here.
Woo, boy, that ball knuckleballed. That ball knuckled at Lance Johnson. He turned around the wrong way because of that. He made a good play.
Let's check the American League scoreboard. We talked about the Rangers winning. Oakland won this afternoon against Baltimore. Detroit beat Toronto tonight. In the second, the Yankees leading at Seattle and Boston leading in the first inning at California. Gerald Perry up there with 1 out and Brett the runner at first. Ball 1 to Perry. Gerald Perry with 2 hits in the game. Don't forget the 9 o'clock news comes your way following White Sox baseball tonight on Channel 9 in Chicago. Bottom of the 7th here at Kansas City. The Royals lead is down to 2. They were ahead 5-0. The White Sox came up with 3 in the 7th. George Brett the runner at first with 1 of his 3 hits in this game. He's got 3 runs batted in as well. There's a good look at the grip of Adam Peterson. He's sort of got that split fingered grip right now. Let's see what kind of pitch he throws. Outside, ball 2, no strikes to Perry.
Yeah, Adam likes to establish that split finger grip I guess just in case he throws it. He hasn't thrown too many of them tonight. Certainly hasn't thrown very many good ones. Been basically a fastball pitcher. But he has hung in there and he's really battled them. He's working into his 7th inning right now, 6 1/3. 12 hits. He's thrown a lot of pitches.
There's a hard hit ball. It's into right field. Brett holds at second. Kansas City with runners at first and second and one out. And there is the 13th hit of the game. And every ball in this 7th inning has really been smoked. And Jeff Torborg is going to come and get his right-hander. As Tom mentioned, Adam Peterson threw a lot of pitches tonight. He was being asked to go as long as he could so that they wouldn't have to go to a bullpen that was used extensively last night. And now Peterson leaves the scene, and it's Ken Patterson who will follow him to the mound, and we'll return and check out Patterson's numbers in a moment.
Bottom of the 7th inning here in Kansas City. There you see the line score. 5-13-0 for the Royals, 3-9-0 for the White Sox. Sox have gone to their bullpen for the first time tonight. Ken Patterson, the left-hander, comes on to work. 2-1 is his record. 4.17 earned run average in 28 ball games. One save for Kenneth, giving up 49 hits in 54 innings, 27 runs, 25 walks, and 33 strikeouts. And for Ken Patterson, American League hitting .246 against him so far this season. They will turn Willie Wilson around and have him hit right-handed. .269 hitter from the right side of the plate so far this year. There's Adam Peterson. He worked hard tonight. He threw 114 pitches, 69 strikes.
All of that in 6 1/3. George Brett, the runner at second, Perry, the runner at first, and ball one to Willie Wilson. In this series, White Sox relief pitchers have been outstanding. 14 1/3 and no runs. There's a foul ball. A ball and a strike. We get that statistic. Compliments of Statman
Ed Gromley. There he is once again with lovely Sherry, our assistant. She doesn't want to be a famous star, as Ed obviously does.
One ball, one strike, the count to Wilson with one out. Wilson fouls that one back 1-2.
Well, he got lucky right there. He hung a breaking ball. Willie had a good swing. He just fouled it back.
Well, this is that momentum inning, Thomas. The White Sox came up with 3 in the top half of the inning. Now they need to hold them right here.
Yeah, to have a shot at this, at coming back and beating these Royals, you're really going to have to shut them down right here. Hold that lead at 2. You got a chance. Sox are not a big inning ball club.
Inside, 2-2.
And Steve Farr has just been really tough. You know, you looked at his stats as he came into the ball game. He's been a great setup man this year. Of course, they were counting on Mark Davis to close things out, and understand he has some elbow problems now. So Jeff Montgomery, who did a tremendous job last year and is continuing to do that this year for the Royals, is now the ace of that staff.
Foul tip, strikeout.
You're out of there, Willie.
Carlton Fisk hung on. Big strikeout for Patterson. 2 outs.
Mike McFarland.
Willie said the ball hit the dirt. Let's see. Here's a breaking ball going down and in. A much better pitch. And he didn't hit the ground. He didn't even hit the ball. So there's 2 out. Big out right there. Mike McFarland now, the hitter.
Reached on a walk, flied out, hit into a double play. The double play ball was in the 5th. Really helped bail Adam Peterson out of a jam at that time, because it was a hard hit ball, but at Ventura. Fouls it back. Ken Patterson working in relief. And struck out the first man he's faced. Pitched an inning last night, gave up a couple of hits. Prior to that, he hadn't worked since August 1st against Boston. Up high. Ball one, strike one. So there's the deal with runners at first and second. Little looper out into left, and Ozzie Guillen flags it down. Little broken bat looper into left field, and that retires the side as the White Sox turn the Royals away in the 7th. They threaten but leave 2 as we go to the 8th. 5-3 Kansas City. At Royals Stadium. And Ivan Calderon to lead off. There's Jim Eisenreich, the new right fielder for Kansas City, replacing Tarnable, and Steve Farr in there with a strike to Calderon. Fouled away, 0-2.
Here's a reminder, the next Chicago Tribune half-price night is Monday, August 13th, when the Sox battle the Blue Jays at 7:05. For tickets, call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212 or stop by the Comiskey Park ticket windows.
The 2-strike pitch.
Oh.
Check swing, fouled away.
Boy, Farr did a nice job that other outing. Jim pitching inside the Sox hitters, and he's continuing to do that tonight.
He's done a good job in relief of Apier. Came on in the 7th, threw one pitch to Lance Johnson, got him to hit into a double play to end the inning. And stopped the rally at 3 runs, and now Calderon takes it outside, 1-2. Both starters tonight, Kevin Apier and Adam Peterson, working 6 1/3. Adam Peterson gave up 13 hits, walked 2, struck out 2, gave up the 5 runs. And Calderon fouls that one back. Still a ball and 2 strikes. As of right now, the 2 starters are the pitchers of record. Apier in line to win his 7th. Adam Peterson in line to drop his 4th. Unless, of course, the White Sox can change that around here. Inside to Calderon. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And in the 7th inning, they showed signs of coming to life offensively. Prior to that, they were shut out the last 2 games with the exception of Fisk's home run last night. Ball 3, strike 2. Ran that one inside, and Calderon fouled it back.
This is a big at bat for the Sox right here. If Calderon can get on base, that'll put the tying run to the plate. And they got some thunder coming up next with Pascal and Fisk, and of course big Frank Thomas.
Time.
Drop
Ball
down.
4.
Well, that was unusual. Did you see him drop down and try and... He hadn't thrown that pitch all night, and with 3-2, that's a big gamble. Drop down slider came up, really got underneath this ball. Watch it. You got to stay on top of the breaking ball to make it effective. This is just a floater. And Fish ain't biting.
Yeah, that's
leadoff man on for Pasqua.
That's the first walk tonight issued by Kansas City pitching. And Pasqua has been looking at stuff inside all night. And Farr has been pitching inside in this series when he's been out there.
Right
Strike
there again.
call.
See, there's a chance right there where Danny Pasqua's got to gamble for 1 strike at least. Look for the ball inside, open up early, and try and hit one about 9 miles for that hotel where we're staying over there in right field.
Inside, ball 1, strike 1. Is that 9 miles away, that hotel?
It seems like it when you're walking. There's the Adams mark. It's right next to the moon. See?
The moon over Independence.
It feels that way when we're going uphill, trying to walk home.
There go your fingernails again, starting to grow. Pasqua fouls that one off to the left. 1-2.
I like hanging around in some of the press rooms after the game, you know, having a cold one, talking a little baseball with some of the scouts. They are fun.
Yeah.
Well, you can get a great scouting report on every team in the league if you just, you know, hang out there for a little bit. They're everywhere.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. It was inside. He pulls it foul. This is the 8th inning. The Royals jumped in front tonight with a run in the first, added to it with a run in the third. Then they had their big inning, 3 in the fourth. The White Sox scored 3 in the 7th, and it's 5-3 Kansas City, but the White Sox have a man on and nobody out. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pasqua. Calderon, the runner at first. Steve Farr working in relief of Kevin Apier. White Sox need a victory tonight to split this 4-game series. Another foul. Well, Pasqua has gotten around on that inside pitch the last 2 times. He's turned on it a little too soon. McFarland sets up outside this time. Barely missed. Ball 2, strike 2.
There are the scouts. One of them anyway. The guys that sit. That's Buck O'Neill. They sit right behind home plate. Get a good view of the game.
Pasqua pops it foul behind the plate, out of play. Still 2-2. They not only give you a scouting report, they can spin a story every now and then.
Boy, can they ever. About everybody that ever played.
Some of the stories are true.
Yeah. Right. Very few of them, though.
Strike 3.
Boy, he just kept pounding him in, and all of a sudden he came up with a fastball up and away, and Danny couldn't lay off of it. Steve Farr kept going with number 1. You can see Danny, well, not too sure he went on that one. Take a look. Boy, it's really hard to tell. He could have asked for help, though. Strikeout number 1 for Steve Farr.
And so Fisk is the batter. Yeah, his argument was with Jim McKeon. That's why you almost feel he called him out on strikes.
Yeah.
That the pitch was in the strike zone.
Way up and out of the strike zone. There's a fastball. Misses the outside corner.
White Sox are 1 swing of the bat by Carlton Fisk away from tying it up. At the knees, 1-1.
Carlton is 4 for 7 in this series. 4 for 11, I'm sorry. With that home run last night. Good time to break Bench's record right now, or break Carlton Fisk's record.
Here's a 1-1. 1-2. Steve Farr ahead in the count against Fisk. Boy, he just poured a fastball in there on that last one. Ground ball on the right side. Flag down by Pacoda. Out at second, and that's the only out they'll get. Good play by Pacoda, moving to his left. Getting the ball to Stillwell to force Calderon.
Well, Pacoda has shown us in this series that he is a player. Here's a good play to his left. Pudge hits the ball the opposite way goes with it nicely. And Pacoda, sliding stop a la Ozzie Guillen, turns, made that little reverse pivot, got the ball to second base and got the lead man. So a big play once again by Bill Pacoda. That'll bring up Big Frank. 2 for 3 on the night. Scored a run.
Ball 1. That fastball is high. Frank Thomas with a 7-game hitting streak going. Low. Ball 2, no strikes. Frank is still after that first big league home run. 2-0 the count. There's a fly ball to right. Eisenreich has it. White Sox are retired in the 8th. No runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. As the Royals come to bat in the home half, they lead it 5-3. Let's look at the Hyundai scoring summary this evening. It started in the bottom of the first. George Brett grounded out. That scored Pacoda, and the Royals had a 1-0 lead. Gerald Perry singled in the third to score Seitzer. 2-0 Kansas City. In the fourth, Brian McRae doubles, scored Stillwell. George Brett doubled, that scored McRae and Seitzer. 5-0 Royals. In the top of the 7th, the White Sox started to battle back. Ozzie Guillen's double scored Frank Thomas. Then Bradley singled, scored Fletcher and Guillen, and it was 5-3 Kansas City. That's where it stands right now as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And there's the moon over Independence.
Andy Adams mark. Home of the White Sox when they're in Kansas City.
Kurt Stillwell steps in. He's got 2 of the 13 hits for the Royals tonight. All 13 hits came against starter Adam Peterson. And Ken Patterson comes in there with a good fastball. Strike 1 to Stillwell. Stillwell's 2 hits have raised his average to 268. Came in tonight at 265. Boy, right off the fist, and on the short hop, Fletcher comes up with it and throws him out. 1 out. White Sox have some action out there. Thigpen and Barry Jones. Here's Brian McRae. 2 doubles in the game. He's got his average up to 455. Strike 1 on that swing and a miss. With his 2 for 3 tonight. Strike 2. In the White Sox 9th. Bottom third of the order, Ventura, Fletcher, and Guillen. Two-strike pitch to McRae. Pops it up. Foul. Thomas over. It's out of play. White Sox are home tomorrow night with Texas. Doubleheader. Nolan Ryan scheduled to pitch the second game. There's a smash foul. McMurtry will pitch the first game for the Rangers against Jack McDowell. Wayne Edwards gets a start for the White Sox in the second game against Ryan. And our next telecast on Channel 9 will be Tuesday night at Comiskey Park against Toronto. 7 o'clock telecast. There's a drive into left center, and Ivan Calderon over to make the one-handed catch. 2 up, 2 down. 4 in a row retired by Ken Patterson. That brings up Kevin Seitzer. Been on twice and has scored twice in this game. Outside. Two balls, no strikes to Seitzer. Fouled away down the right field side. 2-1. Ken Patterson with a pretty good job working here out of the bullpen for the White Sox. Smashed off Patterson and into left field. There's the 14th hit tonight for the Royals. And Seitzer has his second.
There goes Dr. Herm out there to check and see how Ken is. Boy, that was a wicked shot off the bat of Kevin Seitzer. He hung him a breaking ball. And Ken paid the price. There he's showing Herm exactly where that ball hit him. Looked him just above the right ankle. He's all right. Now those Texans are tough, aren't they?
Yes, sirree, buddy.
Wait a minute, you're a Texan.
That's why I
take
say
that back.
Smile when you say that, stranger.
All right, Pilgrim, the next Coca-Cola Shy Sox luncheon will take place Tuesday, August 14th at the Hyatt Regency, Chicago, starting at 11:30 a.m. This luncheon will feature pitchers Bobby Thigpen and Greg Hibbert, the Thiggy and Hibby Show. For more information, call the White Sox at 312-924-1000, extension 365.
Now Bill Pacoda up there against Patterson. Patterson's okay, misses high, ball 1. That hit by Seitzer gives him 14 out of 36 this year against the White Sox.
That's real good.
389.
First hit by Patterson. Off Patterson, that is. Good fastball right there on the inside corner. Ken's got a good fastball tonight, no doubt about it. He is heating them up.
1-1, the count on Pacoda.
Let's get this guy. You don't want George up there again for the 5th time.
Little pop. Backing up, Thomas makes the catch. That's it for the Royals in the 8th. So the White Sox need 2 in the 9th as they come up trailing 5-3.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here we go to the 9th inning with Kansas City in front 5-3. Robin Ventura stands in against Steve Farr. And ball 1 the count. Inside. Ball 2, no strikes to Ventura. 0 for 2 tonight, sacrificed in the second inning. Fastball in there, 2-1. There's a pitch hit high in the air to right. Eisenreich over into right center and has it, 1 out. You know, we talked earlier tonight about the bench clearing brawl in New York, where the Mets beat the Phils 5-4. Dwight Gooden hit with a pitch here in retaliation. He had hit a couple of Phillies players. Now he charges Pat Coombs, the Phillies pitcher.
Well, he lands a haymaker right here. Well, watch what Darren Dalton does to the doctor. Watch this right, another right. Boy, he is working him over pretty good. Right there again. He really nailed him about 3 times.
There were 7 combatants thrown out in that game. Scotty Fletcher pops up the first pitch to him. Seitzer doesn't have a play. It's on the roof of the Sox dugout. And McFarland was there as well. 1 strike to Fletcher. Yeah, that was definitely not one of those baseball fights where the bench is empty and people come out and stand around and look at each other.
No, they weren't exchanging pleasantries. Well, it's heating up. It's August. Pennant fever. Tempers get a little bit short.
Well, the Mets win. Montreal in 10 innings beats Pittsburgh 7-6. Pitch to Fletcher. Line to left field. Wilson off the hop. Fletcher comes up with a base hit. Later on the delayed 9 o'clock news, Dan Rowan will have more highlights on that game and all the baseball action. Here's Sammy Sosa coming in to run for the White Sox for Fletcher.
Second baseman Scott Fletcher, number 25, Sammy Sosa.
Scotty got a hanging breaking ball and he nailed it into left field for a base hit. So now Sammy with the good speed. Scotty's got a pulled hamstring. There's no use in him being out there right now. And the lefties coming up for the Sox here. Well, Ozzie followed by Phil Bradley and then Lance Johnson. One thing, there's Jeff Montgomery. He's the closer now. John Wathan doesn't have a lefty to go to.
That pitch misses, ball 1 to Guillen. White Sox with 10 hits tonight. '24 hits in this contest. Ozzie fouls it down the left field side. A ball and a strike. Ozzie came up with an RBI double his last time up, so he's 1 for 3 in this game. Looks like he's trying to stretch out and get loose there.
Well, he's had an ankle problem for about a month now. Ozzie is one of the worst sliders that you'll ever see, and he always seems to be jamming that ankle into bases. It's like he's trying to stretch it out a bit.
Sosa driven back with that move to first. Steve Farr came on in the 7th to relieve Kevin Appier. He has 1 out in the 9th. Sox with a man on and 1-1 the count to Guillen. Ground ball towards short. Stillwell on to second to Pacoda. The relay double play. This game and series is over. 6-4-3. And the Kansas City Royals take 3 out of 4 from the White Sox in this 4-game set. But the White Sox do have a 500 road trip as they finish up 6-6. We'll be back and recap tonight's game in a moment. Baseball on Channel 9. The White Sox were brought to you by Miller High Life. Buy that man a Miller. The best comes shining through. By the good guys at Center Garage in Cedar Lake, Indiana, where it's Advantage Dodge. The Chicago Tribune. Get in the game, pick up a trip. Coca-Cola Classic. Can't beat the real thing. True Value Hardware. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value Hardware stores. And Phillips 66 Super Clean Premium Unleaded Gasoline. Pump up to performance power from Phillips 66. Guests on White Sox telecast receive a Tissot Rock wristwatch from Henry K. Jewelers at 547 North Michigan Avenue and on the 3rd level of Water Tower Place. Well, 10 hits for the Sox weren't enough tonight as Kansas City picked up 14 hits for a 5-3 win. Kevin Appier, his 7th victory against 4 losses. Adam Peterson, the loser, 2-4. And Steve Farr gets his first save. Our next White Sox telecast comes up Tuesday night from Sox Park. The Toronto Blue Jays in town, and we'll have it for you on Channel 9 at 7. My thanks to Tom Pashorek and Skip Ellison out in the truck. This is Jim Durham. Good night from Kansas City.